Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Monique. This is Joe. Today, guys, we have a good one for you. We're actually going to talk about new builds here in Denver, Colorado, or the Denver metro area. One of the things Joe and I do like keeping in mind of, even though we do make fun, I do make fun of Joe for always being budget friendly. We do want to focus on some of the new builds. And
now you want to talk about it.
Now we're going to talk about budget. We want to talk about new builds and what they have to offer in terms of, affordability, budget, especially right now in today's times where we are seeing higher interest rates and housing getting a little more expensive. Denver and the Denver metro has become a really popular spot. And so inventory levels obviously have seen a little bit of softness. So definitely want to keep in mind your budget. So with that being said, let's take a look.
All right, guys, so as Monique's mentioning, obviously you're seeing just a little bit of tie up here in the existing home market, just because a lot of these people in the last few years, they've obviously locked in maybe 2.5%, 3% interest rates. So whether they like the home or not, it's an affordable payment. So a lot of people aren't letting go of their existing homes. And so what that kind of tends to have people do now is a lot of people are looking at the new build market, just because that is allowing for some new inventory to come to the market, as well as it's allowing for some better interest rates. That's what we're finding, because we're always keeping in mind, obviously, that monthly payment is a big deal. And on existing homes, interest rates are definitely creeping up. So what you tend to find is the best deals we're seeing now in the market is the new builds, because these builders have the optionality to afford to buy down the interest rates for you guys. So we're seeing, depending on whether it's, a near completion spec home or, a fresh new build, we're seeing rates as low as like $4.99 in some of these homes. So that's a phenomenal deal in comparison to what you're seeing on a traditional 30-year rate right now on an existing home. You just don't have that flexibility with existing homes. These buyers, they've obviously have the equity, but they don't have that amount of equity where they're buying down your rate to that extent. So new builds are a great option if budget is a concern for you guys.
Right, and some of the new builds are giving, $30,000, $40,000 in terms of incentives, and
easily, yeah,
buy down your rate. They're also, there is some negotiating power there as well in terms of purchase price. New builds do have numbers to hit and shareholders, so they definitely sometimes do take price cuts in terms of, spec quick move-in homes. So definitely opportunities there for you if you are concerned about your budget and are looking to purchase something and you are in need of a new home, and that is something that you're looking for.
Definitely, guys. Yeah, it just depends on your personal situation. And again, quick little reminder for you guys, we are licensed realtors out here in Colorado. So any questions you may have, any needs you may have, we would love to help you with that. And again, just depending on your situation, the closer to completion of the home, typically the better interest rate you're getting. So if it's maybe a month, 2 months out, you could find that 5% rate. If it's, hey, you want to start from scratch, you want to pick all the finishes and everything, that's definitely an option as well. You might get more like a 5.75 to a 6% rate. It just depends on, the builder, how quick they're trying to get rid of that home and everything. But new builds really are a great option. And again, just looking back over the last couple of years historically, like I remember I was shopping new builds back in 2021, like height of the market, everybody was trying to buy something, rates were low. It was mayhem, because at the time, like, you had to even get on a wait list to get a new build. It was like you had no options to pick. They had, maybe 2-3 lots at best in these communities, and you were just taking what you could get. Versus now, like Monique was saying, you do have that bargaining power. You do have just, the time to really take to pick out what you actually want, to decide, is this the right community? Is this the right lot? Versus just taking whatever's thrown your way, because that was the only option back then. So it's a really good time to look and consider new builds.
Right, and one of the things too that I wanted to call out now that Joe was mentioning, building during that time frame, you didn't get to pick your color scheme, you didn't get to pick it.
Nothing.
You wanted a covered porch. You kind of, stood in line, and it was like you get what you get.
You begged and you paid a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So right now, you do have lot premiums here and there, but you're not necessarily on a 9-month wait list to get, your lot released. You're not waiting in long, on a long list in order to have your options and pick out the color and the design of your home. So definitely a great time if you're looking for something that's going to give you more options.
Definitely. And another improvement too is Monique's calling out, picking different options and all this. I remember back when I was trying to buy, it was also in the middle of all the supply chain issues. So another big issue back then that is significantly improved now, as we're seeing with some of these build centers, it was at the time where things were out of stock, things were delayed. It was pushing back the build time just because of the fact that they couldn't get a hold of the materials they needed to complete the homes. Versus now, what you're seeing is a lot of these supply chain issues and just the cost of labor and materials has come down significantly. So in turn, you're able to really pick those things you want. It's completing on time. You're not seeing these crazy, 1.5 waits like you were seeing a couple years ago, versus now they're actually wrapping up in a timely manner. So really, it's a great time to consider a new build. It really is.
All right, guys, and one of the things to think about if you are going to purchase a new build is some of the cool perks that come with a new build. One of the biggest ones is that first 1 year, everything's covered warranty. Depending on the builder, the timeframes may vary, but for the most part, a lot of them give a 1 year general warranty. You know, if you're seeing little cracks in paint, if you're seeing, you know, whatever the case.
Like the bumper to bumper warranty in a car, yeah.
Exactly. So definitely something you want to make sure, you know, that you make a list of, right? You move in, you check things as you live in the home, you start noticing if the house settles or things like that. So you definitely want to pay attention to those details so you can definitely, you know, get in within that 1 year warranty.
Yeah, it's not just the first 1 year warranty too. They actually typically give a 10-year structural warranty too. So any kind of issues with foundation, all of that, or just keeping in mind your guys' budget, and especially that year one expense too, because obviously, you know, a great rate is very, very helpful, but also sometimes you walk into an existing home and, you know, 6 months in, there's an unpleasant surprise you might run into. Not to say inspections don't catch that stuff, but every once in a while something just breaks, and that's the reality of it. What's really nice about the new build life is you buy that and you're covered, and so whatever happens, that's on the builder, that's not on you. So you really have peace of mind for at least that first full year. You get settled in. Although what I will say is though, Monique's calling it out, and I've experienced this myself, that first year you will look around and you'll be like, there's a little paint chip on that ceiling, or this looks a little crooked over here. Little things you'll notice, you know, it is what it is. It's anywhere, it's in existing homes too. But what's nice is you call those guys up and you're like, hey, I need a paint and drywall touch up. Most builders will offer that within that first year, where you get in, you get settled, maybe you dinged a couple things, moving your furniture in. No, it's serious. Like they come in, they touch up everything, and you're good to go. So it's a really, really nice perk on that side of things.
Another perk to a new build is the energy efficiency. A lot of the homes, especially in today's, you know, modern technology, are super high efficient in terms of, you know, making sure that they have double pane windows, making sure that the house retains the heat, that the house breathes properly, to make sure the airflow within the home is, you know, when you're running your heating or cooling, trying to help you save on your bill. So definitely something that's, you know, positive if you're looking for a new build.
Yeah, they're better about using better materials. So you're not seeing maybe like the stuff foam anymore. You're seeing the new high-tech spray foam that is just, it's better for insulation, and it allows that cheaper electricity bill. Now, you know, with all that being said, we always like to keep it real with you guys too. So we're going to throw in a couple negatives here too that come with the new builds. Just the reality of it, it's not all sunshine and rainbows always with new builds. But what we will say is, in terms of saving you money, those are all the big pros. Now the cons, getting into that, typically what you find with a lot of new build communities is you're in a special tax district. So what that means is, you know, your property taxes year over year, which of course are part of your monthly payment, can be higher. So although you're being bought down on the interest side of things, that tax side may come up a little bit. Not terrible, probably on par, frankly, with the rest of the US, but in terms of Colorado, it is going to be higher than the average. So the norm out here in Colorado for property tax is about 0.5%. On a new build, that can range, you know, 1 to 1.2, so very reasonable still, and cheaper than a lot of other parts of the country still. But just in comparison to what you're seeing on some existing homes, that special tax district does add a bit of a tack-on payment there on your monthly payment.
Right, and keep in mind that that special tax is because, you know, it is being a community that's developed. You're paying for the roadways, you're paying for new schools.
All the new amenities, yeah, that come with that. So it's worth it, yeah.
It's definitely an investment in terms of where you're going to live and the resources that you're going to have access to. So definitely view it as that point too. I know Mr. Joe likes to worry on the budget too, but that's a big one to call out, is it is taxes that are going, you know, for further development, is to, you know, to help with the accessibility. And then one of the things that I do want to call out as well is, do expect to incur cost if you are expecting to have landscaping done.
Yes.
99% of the time, most of the builders here do not finish your backyard for you. That is actually
front yard only. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an expense you're going to have to do. So if you need a fence, if you have dogs, if you're going to install, you know, grass, or you're going to put, you know, little bushes or flowers, whatever the case may be, do expect to include that in your budget, because typically you will need to get that done within the first year of living within the home. So make sure that, you know, you allocate that for your budget as well.
One reasonable thing though is, which, you know, again, pro or con, depending on what you want, a lot of the yards out here aren't that big anyways, so it's not like you're going to incur a giant expense, but it is just something we always discuss with our clients beforehand. We kind of work out, all right, this is the size lot you're going to pick. This is roughly what landscaping should cost. Maybe you're considering too, just, you know, blinds don't always come with new builds too, like these little things, but all things we can look into ahead of time, figure out like, okay, this is what you're actually going to need to bring, you know, to your closing at the end of the day. And very reasonable, but we always like to just make sure all our clients are, you know, prepared and they know what they need financially coming into that close. There's no surprises, nothing like that.
Guys, and we do want to end the video with a positive note. So one of the things I will call out that's really good and really cool actually about the new builds is your ability to, you know, customize and select what you want if you are doing a dirt start. So if you are doing a dirt start home, you are there from when they break ground to the foundation to pre-drywall. You're scoping out every aspect of the home when they are building your home. And so you're definitely involved in all of the process. And it's something that's really cool, because if you go to an old home, you're kind of getting what you're getting. You're not really involved with, you know, all
dated usually a lot of the time too, yeah.
Exactly. And one of the things that they do is, you know, with today's technology, they're up to date in terms of HVACs, they're up to date in terms of what works for like drywalling, what materials to use, all of that good stuff. So definitely one of the cool perks that we like to call out.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing to call out too, like they've thought of all the previous mistakes that have been made too. So like, for example, putting the laundry and stuff in the basement, lugging your stuff all the way back upstairs to the bedrooms, not exactly a fun time, especially when you got a bunch of little kids, you're doing all their laundry. So the new builds have really thought ahead in terms of, let's put the laundry and stuff upstairs, right? Let's give them enough room to put them side by side. Maybe we don't want to stack them, right? Whatever it may be. You see funky stuff where there's sometimes, you know, even laundry in the kitchen I've seen in some homes when we've gone into, whatever it is, right? Just things that are like, you know, maybe I don't really want that in my house. So new builds are pretty standard across the board. They thought, hey, we want open floor plans. We just want, you know, what's modern today. Like obviously style and trends come and go, but as of the 2020s, the new builds are going to hit, you know, pretty much everything you're looking for in terms of a nice new house.
Guys, and as much as Joe and I love making these videos for you, we would love to help with any real estate needs you may have. If you're looking to buy or move into Denver, Colorado, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are licensed realtors here in the state of Colorado. Our contact information is on the screen. We are the ones who answer those emails, text messages, phone calls, so please feel free to reach out.